You good?
All right.
All right, everybody. Welcome to We Told You All Week. Got my boy Jalen Franklin here. Josh couldn't be with us. He is currently traveling from Florida, where they beat the shit out of Florida, Miami, Gainesville.
Lord.
So he lost his voice and he's on the road. So I got my boy Jalen up here. We're gonna go over the picks that we had. We hit over 80% for the most part. We had a lot of tickets. We had a lot of tickets on our page, on the Twitter page. We told you all week that cashed on Thursday, on Friday, and we had some tickets that cashed on Saturday. Those were just picks that I put out on the Twitter page that you had to be following. Our main our main ticket did not cash, and we'll get into the reasons why. But all the things that we talked about on the show for the last show pretty much turned out, except for that ass beating that Miami put down on Florida. So we're gonna start there. We had Florida plus 4.5. So obviously with the teaser, Florida, the regular spread was 2.5. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we had Miami 4.5, and the regular spread was minus 2.5. So um, just to clarify, we specialize in teaser bettings. So that's
Yeah.
adding and subtracting points from the spread. Because I always like to break this down for people that are new. So, for example, if Auburn is favored over UNC Charlotte by 7 points, you're like, okay, I don't know if they're going to win by 7. May win by 4. I'm gonna do a 7 point teaser. So now Auburn, all they have to do is win the game. They don't have to
Mm-hmm.
win by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just win the game because
Win
you
the
added
game.
a 7 point teaser. Yeah. Now, if you wanted to go the other side, you're like, I don't think Charlotte's going to lose by a little bit more than like 8 or 9. Okay, you could add a 7 point teaser and bring that 7 points up to 14.
14.
Now Charlotte cannot lose by 14 or more. That is what the teaser is. The same concept as a parlay. If you do more than one, or if you do two-team teaser and one of them lose, that's it. Ticket loses. So that's what a teaser is. All right. Um, Back to the Florida Miami game. I
Woo.
mean, that was a
Beat down.
from beat down from top to bottom. It didn't
I don't.
even matter. What you gonna say?
I don't think people expected it to be this lopsided going into this
Me either.
matchup. I know I didn't. I thought Florida was going to keep it moderately close,
Me too.
if not win the game in the fourth quarter. But that's not what happened at all.
We said on the show, I think we said, I don't see them losing by more than 10. I was like, I thought it was going to be a rock fight, a slugfest, more like the Texas A&M Notre Dame game.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I swear, from like kickoff from the first touch, just the swagger that Cam Ward had, he didn't care. Like,
He didn't
you could
care. He was
tell
playing.
Miami was prepared. They
Yep.
didn't Nothing that Florida could have did that game could have shook Miami. Miami was the clear cut favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think Billy Mayer has a lot. He has a lot to fix over there. And me personally, I won't be betting on Florida unless it's for them to get beat. I will
Mm-mm.
not be betting on Florida.
Your
They they
best
they they
chances.
they.
Your best chance is to bet on Florida next week. After that, leave them alone.
Yeah, yeah, facts. Yeah,
After that, leave
yeah,
them alone.
yeah. Your best bet is to bet on Florida. They should beat the snot out of Sanford,
They
and
should. Like
uh,
we thought they should keep this
the,
one close, but you know,
this yeah they
with the
should.
Florida
The
Gators,
stat
man, they
line
pretty.
was
Yeah, the Florida Gators
the
are pretty
stat line
solid,
was alarming.
wishy-washy.
Graham Mertz, I think he 92 yards. He was under 100. Like, I don't even want to talk to you if you're under 150 passing yards as a starting quarterback at a D1 program,
And no
and you have an
touchdowns.
interception. Like, that's bad. Like,
No
that's bad.
touchdowns.
You can't beat
No touchdowns.
anybody. No, they didn't have no touchdowns, correct?
No touchdowns.
No touchdowns. See what I'm saying? Like, you can't win like that. Um, so man, I think Miami is a well-oiled machine. They very
Yes.
well. I think they're a semifinals team. I really do.
They don't.
I
They're
think
not going to
they'll
have
see.
much. They're not going to have much pushback going through their season, anyway, until they get to the ACC championship game. They got
Yeah.
Florida State in at the end of the season. No, when did they play Florida State?
No, I think they got Florida State like the middle of the season.
The middle of the
I
season, they got
forgot who
Florida
they.
State. I think. I don't know if that's
The
home
end of
or
this.
away. They could
It's
be.
home.
Oh, if it's a home game, then yeah, they won't have much pushback until the end of the season, going into the
Yeah, I
ACC
think
championship.
they're primed. So
Hmm.
they're primed to make a push. So we will be. I believe we will be betting on Miami as long as the spread's not ridiculous. I mean, the teaser, even with the teaser, I think they play Florida A&M coming up to this week. I'm comfortable taking whatever that number is. Like, as long as it's like not 40 something
Yeah,
with the teaser, I'm comfortable taking that. They're gonna beat the snot at whoever they play next week.
yeah, man.
So we did pick that one right. The goal is to be 80%, 80% between two or three tickets. So we did do
Hmm.
that right. So we did picked we picked Florida. I mean Miami plus 4.5. We also did say it's okay to take Florida. I think plus 10, but obviously that wasn't an official pick. That was just like we thought they were going to be desperate, and they were, and they desperately got their asses beat. So make sure y'all
It's
make a
just
middle note.
they have a lot of soul searching they got to do today and
Yeah,
tomorrow. Are you gonna let Mertz continue to play out his last season? Or are you gonna let DJ get some experience?
DJ's got to
Because
play. He's
this
your
season
future.
is a wash. This season is washed. I don't think they're winning. And it is super early to say that after week one, but watching what they put
Nah,
on the
if it look
field,
like a duck and quack like a duck, it's a goddamn duck. I'm
it's a
sorry.
duck, man. Defensively,
So
they can't get it done defensively. And maybe Miami's that
yeah,
good. I'm hoping Miami is that good for the Florida fans. I'm
I
hoping
think
just
it was
Miami
more.
is just that good.
I, I think it was both. I think Miami's that good and Florida's that bad.
Yeah.
Like I think Florida's that bad. I don't care about their schedule. We know it's tough, but I think Florida's what Vegas has told us. They are a 4 or 5 win team,
Hmm.
and they will not be favored in a lot of these games coming up. They're getting freebies with Stanford, and I, I'm not giving them Texas A&M. I think Texas
Nope.
is a really good team. So I
Nope.
mean, they have a long way to go. So we'll keep an eye on them. With betting purposes. So we're going to move
Maybe
on to our
maybe if DJ gets the start and
yeah
they start
yeah
changing some
lightweight
stuff. He get a win or two,
yes
we may go back over there and see what they got going on in Gainesville. But as long as Mertz is
fact.
at the
So
helm, I don't see anything positive coming from there.
we picked that correctly.
Hmm.
Now moving on, we also had Penn State money line. Now everybody was trying to -1. Everybody was trying to talk me off the ledge with
Hmm.
the Penn State uh, West Virginia. I'm listening. Listen
Yep.
here. Penn State is
Penn
a
State.
playoff team. We don't
Yep.
have time. They don't have time to be fucking around with West Virginia. And they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. Not like beat them by 40, but I mean, the
I
game
mean,
was never
it's
really.
a comfortable lead, man. That's a decent program over in West Virginia. That's a comfortable lead
Yeah.
that they beat them by.
So they did exactly what
Hmm.
I thought they were going to do. I knew that. I thought that spread was way too low. Penn State is a really, especially when they're not playing Ohio State and Michigan. They're a good team when they're not playing anybody that's ranked lower than them. So
Yeah.
like 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Like when they're not playing those type of teams, they're more than likely going to beat them. So, and this year, Penn State, they don't have making a playoff is not enough. They got to make it to the semifinals.
I mean,
Okay.
if
So, because if it was a 12-team playoff, the last 3 or 8 teams, they would be in it. So just
yeah,
make it is not good enough for
they
them.
have they have USC, and well, we'll find out what USC has in a few minutes here. But
You
they have
facts.
Ohio State. They got Ohio State, and that's about the only attrition they got.
That's what
Washington's
I got them
rebuilding.
with maybe 2 losses, maybe.
Yeah, so I mean, they're going to get their opportunity to get to that Big Ten game if they can squeeze out a win against USC or Ohio State. I think
They ain't beating Ohio State. I'm telling you that
if
right
they
now.
split one of those, man, then I think they'll
Yeah,
get a
they'll beat
good chance to get
USC.
in. But
Um, So
I mean, they're gonna get
so that was a pretty easy one. I didn't care what ESPN, ABC, none of the reporters was telling me this is college game day, wherever the hell they were at. I mean, I think Big Noon. I didn't care. I was like, Penn State's not losing, period. Like, we can move on from that.
Yeah.
Next up is the funny one. Josh pretty much. Josh was all in on this, and we told Josh this was actually a spread pick on the page, and we posted that was Georgia minus 13.5. Josh told you
all you can bump that up to 20.
Yeah, Josh said it. He said you could bump that shit up to 20. I'm comfortable taking that spread up to 20. We told you all summer that Georgia was going to put belt to Clemson ass. It's not a testament to Clemson saying they're a bad team. They just played Georgia at the wrong time. Georgia didn't win the SEC championship last year.
Nope.
They didn't go to the playoff. That's a complete failure for them. That's a complete failure.
And for as well as they played last year, they didn't get the SEC and they didn't get into the playoffs. For as well as they played, they are out for blood this year.
Yeah, so that was the easiest. That was one of the easiest pick in that. And towards the beginning of the Saturday, the spread started dropping down from 13.5, 12.5, 11.5 because reports of ETN wasn't going to play. Since when did we care about Georgia running backs? They've never had like a super at that time. Like Chubb was good. Like we don't care about Georgia's running.
I mean, but
that was so long ago.
That's so long ago, bro.
Yeah. I watched them trot out a running back that had a knee brace on and they won a national championship. Like whatever running back was back there, that didn't matter. They got a Heisman candidate quarterback. They have depth at wide receiver, even though I don't think Georgia had a 1,000-yard receiver in like 10 years, something like that. I mean,
because they fed the ball to their tight end so much.
Yeah, they feed the ball.
Yeah,
they have a lot of depth. They have a lot of transfer portal depth. They have a lot of 5-star developed depth. And on the other hand, you got Clemson's a very well-oiled machine. I'm not taking nothing away from Dabo. Dabo's a great coach, but he's in his own way. You can't compete with Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ole Miss, Penn State, Oregon. You can't compete with those teams. You're telling me you're good enough. You're good enough not to go to the portal, but they're going to the portal. So you're telling me you're not good enough. I mean, you're good enough not to go to the portal, but the teams that's won the national championship the last, 3 of the 5 years have been top 5 in the portal, and you're not going to go. So,
right.
And you don't get depth. You're not going to tell me a senior or a sophomore is going to be more developed. And sometimes Georgia has All-Americans that transfer from a different team that's starting for them. These are grown men. I love developing kids, but Dabo, you got to pay the players. Like if you don't want to pay the players,
you got to put them in position to win. But sometimes you just need to get in the transfer portal to fix certain things that you need to fix immediately.
I need a
center. I need a left tackle. I need a defensive end. There you go.
Exactly, and that's the reason why they lost, because I don't think Cade Klubnik is a bad quarterback. I don't believe he has the weapons. I don't think he has the weapons around him.
He doesn't, man. I think
because won't go.
They had a starter number 22. I think he's a freshman. He can't create separation.
And their receivers.
It's the biggest game.
Exactly. For the teams that Dabo plays or consider them that program, their wide receivers out there, like the top tier teams, when Clemson plays them, we're going one-on-one coverage. You're not scaring us with this, and that's what happened. Georgia is like a boa constrictor. Like they were playing sloppy as the game. This is where your depth comes in. So now if you got depth, if you got depth as Clemson, you're like, oh no, Georgia, we're here with you, but you don't have the depth. So now 34-6, belt to ass.
18 to 29, 142 for one interception, no touchdowns again. That's another quarterback. They went out there and played a big team with 0 touchdowns.
0 touchdowns. And I watched the game. He didn't play hard, but it's just that Georgia was so good and they don't have the weapons out there. So that was another easy one. Josh told you he was comfortable taking that spread on live TV up to 20.
Up to 20.
I was a little bit. I was like, I was like 7. He said it. He said, he said, yeah. He said it he said it in the summertime. He said, listen, I'm not playing around. I'm comfortable taking that shit up to 20. Georgia's finna put belt to Clemson ass. That's what happened. And Clemson, that's not a testament against them saying they're a bad team. I still think they won 9 or 10 games, but you came up with the big dogs. You go sit right down. You're no longer elite anymore, Dabo, until you hit that portal. So we hit on that.
Yep.
So we hit on that. Moving along, we have the USC and LSU over for the night at 57. I don't see why they won't cover 58 points. I really don't.
No, they're going to score. Those are two highly two highly talented offenses. But also we don't know what's this Moss, the new quarterback for USC. I don't know if he's going to play that well against the SEC defense.
Nah, he'll be fine. Our defense is abysmal. You can't fix that in a year. Our defense is so bad. Our defense was damn near worse than Colorado, and I watched Colorado go in there. Their defense didn't get fixed. So I know ours is not going to get – it may get better, but is it going to be fixed? No. So I think points are going to be scored in that. So we don't know the outcome on that. We'll figure that out in the next show. And Notre Dame – this was Notre Dame, Texas A&M. This was another one. I was on live saying I didn't know. No one's taking me off of this pick. I'm taking Notre Dame plus 10. I was almost like I was being scared. I wanted to take a money line. If they were going to lose this game.
When you called me, I fought against you on this one because I thought Texas.
Yeah, listen. Notre Dame lost to Ohio State on the 1 yard line last year with 1 second left. That was a good game. I knew they were poised to win this game. And Josh was telling me that Marcus Freeman was on the clock. I'm like, no, bro. That's a 10. That's not the Notre Dame of the old, boring. Like, they're going to run the ball, play good football, but I like the swagger that Marcus has brought to Notre Dame. It ain't like you just watching old.
But let's not kid ourselves. Not like Texas A&M is a good team in the SEC.
That's probably going to be Notre Dame's toughest game for like the last 6-7 weeks.
But
that's a good. That's a good team they beat.
You got Northern Illinois, Purdue, Miami, Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, Army.
They're going to beat Florida State.
USC at the back end on the last season.
I had them 10-1. I had Notre Dame 10-1. And they were one of my first teams in the playoffs.
I just refuse to have them rated number 7. And you see your schedules like this, you don't belong to a conference. It's not fair. It's not fair.
I feel you.
It's not fair, man.
But I don't really care if it's fair or not, because if you put Notre Dame on the field with any team not named Ohio State, Georgia, Texas, you put them on that field with them, besides those 3 teams and maybe Oregon, they're going to beat every last one of them. It don't even matter.
They're going to beat Bama.
I would not go. Bama wouldn't go down their schedule like, oh, check.
No.
I'll tell you that much. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Team, but I don't think they're
the 8th. They're the 8th best team in the country.
In Notre Dame, because I seen the Notre Dames that get that nod in the BCS. Yeah, the BCS period,
but this ain't them.
What happens?
This ain't them. Because I like what they're doing over there. But yeah, so we got that right, and now we're gonna talk about the reason why we did not sweep. All this hype coming into the year that you played the team. You played the worst team in the SEC. Virginia,
baby.
Virginia fucking Tech. You messed up $1,000 ticket because you were up 7 and you lost by 6 within a minute and 30 in overtime. You let Vanderbilt drive 80 yards on you, make it look effortlessly, then get in overtime and scored in 3 plays. What are we doing in VTech? And a lot of people had you for a dark horse to win the ACC. Not for what I saw. And I know it's week 1. They might be able to get it, but
if
no.
You can't stop Vanderbilt from scoring 34 points. You are not going to the national championship. I don't care who you are.
Or you're going to your conference championship.
Because you're going to run into a Colorado, you're going to run into a Miami, you're going to run into a Bama. You got to score 70 to win the game.
Yeah. They're not beating Miami. So, sorry, guys. That ticket that we put out didn't hit. Just for the feel good, I hope this LSU over don't. If this LSU and them game go over, and the only reason we didn't hit was because of VTech, make sure we put them on the ban list. VTech, you are on the no betting list because you let Vanderbilt, the worst team in the SEC, go down there and put belt ass, and then you couldn't get a stop. You could barely score. And on the other hand, I'm like, okay, I look at it like sometimes numbers are fluffed up because Vanderbilt is in the SEC. So if they're playing Bama, Ole Miss, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas 5 weeks in a row, so obviously their defensive numbers are going to be well off the charts for being bad versus you playing Stanford. So, and your defensive numbers are lower, so it looks like you're only giving up 10 points a game, even though you're playing Stanford. But if you put that same Vanderbilt team against any other team, not named Texas, LSU, that score a lot, their defense might be a little bit better. So that might be a little bit of a mistake on my part when I was doing research. I kind of thought about that after I put it out, but I just roll with it.
I think the biggest difference in this game was they weren't expecting Vanderbilt, because Vanderbilt lost their quarterback in the transfer portal. And they went and got another quarterback.
It is an SEC team. They got athletes
from New Mexico State, and
and
he's good. He upset us last year. He upset us last year. So I think that was the biggest hit factor because he rushed for 100 yards and threw for 200. So if you were playing prize picks, he went over both of them.
He went over both of them. And then one other pick I did put out, I took Charlotte plus 14. We got our motherfucking asses beat.
I didn't see that coming. We lost
30-7.
I didn't see that coming.
I was at the game live and direct, and I left with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Let me go ahead and beat traffic. You know when you're getting smoked, let me beat the traffic.
Let me go get on out of here.
I ain't had no service. I'm like, it's over, man. I'm so disappointed in us, man. We lost. JMU is not good to where the point to be beating people by 30 points or hanging 30 up on us. So we play Carolina this week. So that's foreshadowing for you. Already know who I'm taking. Amari Hampton coming to town. He gonna rush for 30 carries and 222 yards. So that's foreshadowing for one of our next episodes. That's one of our picks is Carolina. So we're going to kind of move on. Well, you know what? I want to get this out. So this is Colorado. We all seen the game. Colorado, they got a lot to work on. They have a lot to work on. Their defense is so bad.
They can call us what they want to call us, coons or whatever. But hey,
haters.
We watch football, and we won't be successful. But you can't watch that game and feel confident that Colorado is going to be competitive defensively in that league.
Not in the Big 12.
Not in the Big 12.
Arizona did. You see,
Arizona, but he had 200 in the first half. 202 touchdowns. First half.
3 tutties. I know Travis is good, but they're gonna move him. Listen,
they gonna move him around, and you think them other dudes didn't even touch the ball. We don't know what they can do, what they can and cannot do. So it's just hard to see it. And North Dakota State was a team that wanted to run the ball. Yeah. They dominated time of possession, and the defense could not get them off the field.
They couldn't get them off the field, and a lot of the same stuff from last year, like late hits, jumping off sides, running the same coverage, man-to-man coverage. When everybody's not you and everybody's not Travis Hunter. You put those jokers in zone and let them look. Keep your eyes. What our coach used to say: nothing deep, nothing cheap. Keep your eyes in front of you. Nothing deep, nothing cheap. That's
nothing
just
deep,
make
nothing
it work
cheap,
for
baby. That's old.
Nothing
That's
deep,
old
nothing
school
cheap.
right
Yeah, there. Nothing deep, nothing cheap. You don't gotta go man-to-man coverage every week, Dion. And your coaching selection towards the end of the game with 5 minutes left was horrendous. Even if you can't run the,
he's had that issue last year. Time management.
That's what I'm saying.
Timeout management. That was the issue that Dion had last year, and how he managed the game late in the game.
Late. I vividly remember what game was it? It might have been Oregon State. They were in that game. They actually should have won, but they were on defense the last minute and a half, calling timeouts for Oregon State when they were on the 25. They didn't have no time. It was just, and then Oregon State wound up scoring a touchdown before half. And that changed the whole, like, stuff like that I'm still seeing from last year.
Like in halftime, get to halftime. If they want to stop the clock, make them use their own timeouts. Don't you stop it because you want to give Shedeur and that offense another chance to score. So if you stop him on the 15, Shedeur, he's gonna go 85 yards, 80 yards in 45 seconds. Is he gonna do that?
Missing tackles. Who was number 43, yo? Get him off. He must be really smart. He must know how to get everybody lined up, because I'm like, goodness gracious, he's not starting for no other program but Colorado. Get him out of there. So,
hey man, it's those cerebral players, bro. You kind of need that. I think he's.
Well, shit, I can't tell. I can't fucking tell. But that's foreshadowing for another pick. That's gonna be a good topic. Because I do think Nebraska. I've been screaming all summer. Me and Josh. I think Nebraska's gonna win. But with the teaser, it'll probably take. Because they're underdogs by 6.5 or 7 points. So they take.
If their freshman quarterback is good as advertised, then I think it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be.
Yeah. So I think Colorado's not gonna lose by 14 to them. They can score too fast. They can't stop nobody. But I know for a fact. Horn, Travis, over receiving, they're gonna get in that box. Another gem that I found. I just so happened to be randomly looking at some research, and I was like, let me Google the worst FCS teams that's playing D1 teams. I was like, let me just bet against the top 10 worst teams in FCS, and sure enough, I wound up winning close to $300 because I bet it against Western Illinois, Idaho State University, Stony Brook. I don't even know Bucknell, Akron.
That's a basketball school. That's a basketball school.
So a betting gym, if you could find like a D1 team, go on the NCAA stat and look at the worst teams in FCS. 9 times, if you're 0-1 and 1-11, 0-10 and 1-11 and 2-9 in FCS, and you play, I don't care what D1 program you're playing, you gonna get your ass beat. You there to get the money. That's what you're supposed to do. Lay down.
Lay down.
So
lay down. Take this.
That was. Yeah, and I don't care how bad the FBS team is. They might be bad to the other FBS teams, but they should beat them handily. So
I tell you,
get that out of the way.
These colleges have to start being a little bit more smart on these first game schedules. Like back then, Troy, Western Carolina, those type of games would be your warm up, your tune up games. Another D1 opponent. You get fuck around, get your ass whooped.
Don't play the good D1 AA teams, especially if you're not you know what I'm saying, if you're not kind of in shape with your program.
If you're not solidified in what you got. If you're not Georgia, if you're not Texas, and hey, Oregon almost got caught slipping by Idaho.
Yeah, so and they wound up turning up, but you get our drift. Like NC State, what are we doing? You're struggling in Western Carolina. All right. Tennessee coming to town, another foreshadowing pick. Tennessee coming to a neutral site, and I see some great value there. So that's some recap.
If you look at what Western Carolina did well, they threw the ball They threw the ball well.
All over the place.
They threw the ball well. And what does Tennessee do? They're gonna throw the ball.
Throw the
They're
ball.
Gonna throw the goddamn ball.
That's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
lot of points scored in there. I think Western Carolina and Kentucky, Western Carolina and they scored like 60 total points combined or something close to it, right?
Yeah, it was 59. So you right there, 60.
Yeah, so
59.
Tennessee, I'm at minimum, chat, at minimum, Tennessee gonna get me 28. They getting 28. That's 4 tutties. I don't care how they get them. They getting 4 tutties on Saturday. So I like that. So we hit at 80, 90%, but again, most of the times I have
Tennessee put up 70 points. I didn't realize they put up 70 points.
Exactly. They're gonna score. They're gonna score.
Wow.
All right. So
they let everybody
this is a recap show. This is a recap show. So we're not gonna go too much into detail. We kind of went over the games that we picked. Go on our Twitter page. We told y'all me and Josh, I put some picks on there, and all those picks that I like, the little small picks that I put on the Twitter page, hit. So just going over some initial picks this year. This is just an initial look. I'm gonna run them off, see what you like. Duke and Northwestern over 32.5 points scored in this game, or under 45.5.
Under.
Yeah, I watched it. I think last year was a low scoring game too. And I watched Duke. Last week, week 1 with their quarterback. I mean, they were struggling. He still hasn't found his rhythm yet. That defense is Duke. They got Manny Diaz, the head coach, ain't missed a beat. Like, nope. That's gonna be a physical game. Northwestern already know they don't.
Northwestern don't score points anyway.
Yeah, they scored. I think when Iowa and Northwestern played last year, they scored 17 points total.
And they will go home 10-3 and be happy. Hey,
so
great game.
Yeah, great game.
Yeah, go home 10-3 and be happy for that dub.
All right. So that's one off. We'll get a little deeper dive in the next episode. Penn State minus 25.5 versus Bowling Green. Yeah, or do you like that, or home opener?
Bowling Green minus 25.
Or no, that's too many points.
I think that might be too many points for them. It's close. It's close.
It's close. That's what I'm saying. This regular spread is like 32.5.
Yeah, the regular spread 31.5. Like, if you want to give me, like, but use the teaser, you can knock it up if you want to knock it back up. But I'm not comfortable doing the 20. Was it 24.5 you had?
It's 25.5. So they basically got to win by 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns? I don't think this is far-fetched, but I mean, looking at how they played against West Virginia, I think they'd be all right. I mean,
yeah, I think they'd be
all right.
We'll put it on there, and then we'll go into a deeper dive. Troy versus Memphis. Memphis minus 10.
That's gonna be a good game.
That's gonna be a good game, but I think Memphis beat them by 10.
Yeah. I think Memphis gets some late. I think you could probably bump that up to 14.
Yeah, me too. I think Memphis.
I think it's close. It's close for most of the game. That's in third, going into fourth quarter. Yeah,
that's one thing about football. I watched VTech be down 20-3 or whatever, and wind up scoring, wrapping them off. So,
and that's when coaching takes. They come out of halftime, look like a different team, start getting stops. Vanderbilt didn't score again until the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, defensively they gave a chance to win the game.
Initial pick, I'm Michigan plus 12 or Texas to win the game.
I think Texas gonna run away with this shit.
Listen, Josh ain't on the show. Hey, listen, here's the funny thing. What's it, 34? Here's the funny thing. I talked to Josh earlier today. He was like, just like I told you last week with the Georgia, we'll take this shit up to 20. He said, I don't give a fuck what the spread is. Take that shit. The initial spread before the season opened was 3.5. It bumped up to 6.5. I believe it too. I watched. I went back and watched the highlights.
Did they watch the same? Did they watch the same Michigan team that we watched?
Yeah, they can't score from a quarterback. I like. So we both like Texas. So I'll add that again. We're going to a deeper dive, and I'll tell you right now, when Josh get on here, he gonna tell you what he like that shit up to 14. He got by 2 touchdowns.
I think it's gonna get ugly down there.
Ugly. They can't score with them.
They can't score with them, man. Even if they're having a good offensive day for Michigan, is what they had against West Virginia.
Yeah,
that's like top notch. Like last year, 36 points is a lot of points, and that was a national championship team.
Yep,
that's a lot of points for a Michigan team. 36 points. Like you're gonna have to go if you're going to Texas, when you're going to score at least 40.
Well, it's in Michigan now. It's in Michigan.
It's in Michigan. Okay.
I don't give a shit.
I mean, home field advantage. How much you want to play?
That shit don't really. That don't hold too much weight for me when you don't have no quarterback to initiate the offense and get the crowd going. People don't cheer for.
How good is
people don't cheer for defensive
big talent?
People don't cheer for defensive slugfest. That don't get the crowd going.
No, as long as Quentin is taking steps forward, because I know he struggled against bigger opponents late in the game.
Yeah,
as long as he takes steps forward, I think he'd be all right. I
under for this game, over 38 or under 52 with the teaser.
Texas, Michigan.
Yeah.
I think it'll go over 48.
No, over 39 or under 52. I'm
under 52, over 30. I mean, it'll go over 39.
I don't know about that, bro. I honestly think because I don't want to get too in depth with it. Michigan's going to slow the game down and try to play defense.
So you think that Texas is not going to have the time to put up as many points as we think?
I think they're going to put up 28 to. I think at the most 28, 24. I don't see how Michigan scores more than 17 points. I can see Texas scoring 30. But again, that defense still there. But I've watched games where the defense not going to win you the game because you got to still score eventually. And they're playing against a quarterback that just, who is he? What has he done? Like in Texas,
he's uber athletic. That's all I know about him. He
don't even start.
Huh?
He doesn't start. He didn't start.
Alex didn't start.
No, he did not. He's not the starting quarterback.
Oh
no,
wow.
exactly. So
wow.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about it. Moving along. Utah minus 10 or Baylor plus 24.
Baylor not to lose by 24.
Well, I'll put it down. We'll discuss it. I got Utah.
You got Utah?
10. To win by 10? Is Baylor? Yes.
I don't think Baylor loses by 24.
I think you'll be sweating more with that 24 than that 10. I think Utah at home, they're gonna be putting belt ass too. Because remember their quarterback was hurt last year, so
he back.
Folks thought it was sweet last year.
No, it's back. He back now. He balling.
Yeah, so got that on there.
Points. They pitched the shit out. He put 49 on the board. He balling.
Yep. Again, Carolina, not talking about Charlotte plus 28. I watched them lose 30-7, so I wouldn't even feel comfortable with that. And now, mind you, Carolina's out their quarterback. They're not going to throw the ball. And that's an advantage. That's an advantage and a disadvantage for us. We're decent against the run, but they got that dog back there, and he listen. 14 and a half.
Lucky for them, they have a NFL running back.
Yeah, they're gonna hand it off. I got Carolina to win by 14 and a half. So basically 17 points.
Easy. I think that's comfortable.
Easy.
Yeah.
Notre Dame minus 23 or Northern Illinois plus 37.
Notre Dame.
Yep, same.
I
agree.
think they gotta make a statement this week because they didn't score. They probably didn't score as much as they wanted.
Yeah, they're gonna beat Northern.
They're gonna belt their ass. They're gonna beat them down.
Yeah. I also like Iowa versus Iowa State under 42.5 points. Like, what are we doing? Like, or they don't. The last like 4 games with them has been like under 18 points. Like, they ain't going to be scoring.
At least this is a competitive game, but they're not scoring 40-something points, man.
That's 6 TDs.
No, between both of them? No.
Yeah.
Iowa is not going to score that many points because they're just not what they do. And then Iowa State is not going to be able to score that many points because
fact, there you go. Yeah, I'm going to have to clip that. I'm going to have to clip that. What minute was that? 40. Yeah, I'm definitely that's good.
Iowa State going to be
Iowa State ain't going to be able to score that much, and Iowa ain't scoring that much. Only time Iowa's scoring over 30, they're playing a bum that can't stop the run. They got defense over there. I think they got the best middle linebacker in the country. He's projected to go top 10 in the NFL draft over there. So they're going to have –
They got some corners over there, too, and they don't care what
they play defense.
They play defense.
They're going to play defense. Like, you very well might be able to get 7 points on your opening drive, but that's your last 7 for the half.
That's your last 7, but they playing defense up there, which is – I find it so hard to believe that they struggle so – I mean, Ohio State is Ohio State, but – I think they could be a little bit more competitive in those championship games. Yeah, because they don't have a hard road. They're gonna beat the hell out of whoever else is over there.
Yeah. So moving along, we got me personally. You might not know. I've watched Michigan State play. They're gonna play defense. Jordan Childs is not what we thought he was. Is not what we thought he was based on what I'm watching. I got under 51 points between them, Maryland and Michigan State. I don't think they're going to be scoring 51 points. So basically 6 TDs.
I didn't really watch Michigan State this weekend. I should have because I had been watching Jordan Childs, but I had an assumption that he wasn't what he advertised him to be in either.
Nah, he wasn't. He turned the ball over a lot. They got a good receiver over there, number 4, but I watch him. He's not giving – he doesn't scream 24 points a game out of him.
Yeah.
From what I watched. Moving along, Ole Miss minus 33.5 over Middle Tennessee State. I just watched him put up 70 on – is that home?
I'm taking Ole Miss.
There's no way I'll be comfortable taking – plus 47.5. They only beat Tennessee Tech, which is a D1 AA team, by 6. And one of the worst teams.
That's going to be ugly. That's going to get ugly quick.
Look at V-Tech playing Marshall. They're favored by 16 points. Absolutely not. Not you just didn't know. Alabama 23.5 over USF. I think. Because you remember last year, that game, they only won by 3. I think they remember that. I think they're going to beat the brakes off of them. It's in Bama now.
For sure. You could tell Miro is a different quarterback this year.
And DeBoer, he going to score points. I watched Michael Penix and watched it.
He's going to score points. He makes it easy. He keeps it easy for his quarterback. They're throwing the ball around. I say Alabama's going to be – you could probably bump that shit up to 30. You can probably
I like them to cover that spread. Nebraska money line or Colorado plus 14.
We talked about this earlier today, and I was hell bent on Colorado being able to pull it out because defensively. But then we went back last year. Seen that they lost a bunch of games between 5 to 6 points, 3 to 5 points, and you know what? I think going Nebraska money line would be a smart choice, but I don't think Colorado's going to lose. What they had them at 14.5?
You said 14 right
14. Yeah. I don't think Colorado loses by 14. It's going to be a close game.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close. I think that's one of the games where it's either or is okay. if you take either or. Because
I think there's more question marks on what Colorado is going to be able to do this, because can they protect Shedeur, and can they get home with rushing 4 so they can drop more in coverage, right? I don't think they're going to be able to get home, and I did not like what I saw Thursday against North Dakota State as far as protecting Shedeur. Shedeur made a lot of throws in a collapsing pocket.
Yep. Facts. So, all right. Again, we'll go in a deeper dive later in the week. Tennessee to win the game, or NC State not to lose by 14?
Tennessee to win that game.
Yep, I agree. Over 52.5 or under 66.5? Well, me personally, I would never take an under on a Tennessee game. So over 52?
They're going over 52. They're not going 66. That's a lot of points, shit.
Bro, do you not just hear me say, don't let it be competitive, and Tennessee got 28. That means they're good for 2 more. 35. I'm telling you is they're getting 28 if the game is a blowout. They're getting 28 regardless. Now, if NC State is keeping up, they really gonna go over that.
Yeah.
All right, so we got that again.
The way these two offenses are, they could go over that in the first half. I get close
to it.
So get close to it.
So it's a neutral field. It's in Charlotte. So again, this is just a pool of picks. It don't have to be like the official pick. Clemson -10 or App State +24 or under 58.5 or over 44.5.
What was Clemson to win by what?
Clemson to win by 10 or Clemson to win by 10 or App State +24.
So they think App State gonna lose by 24.
What they think at 17? I think the spread's like 17 or something 17. Like that.
I don't know, man.
No, I don't think they. From what I said, I don't. I mean, they can't. Yo, App is not one of them teams where you be hitting a check mark on.
That's what I'm saying, man. Is this
that ain't no team where you be like, you know what? Okay, we Clemson, we go. Not because you don't score enough.
You don't.
And them motherfuckers can score.
You don't score enough. You do not score enough. And granted, Georgia is Georgia and Appalachian State is not Georgia. But Appalachian State will come to goddamn Clemson and beat your ass.
Yeah. I watched them. They should have beat Carolina twice. They took Carolina to the wall. The final score was like 61-69.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, what's the over? What you had over the points at? What's the point?
44.5.
44.5. I think they go over that.
Me too.
I think they go over. I mean, I will fuck with the points just because I don't know how good.
I mean, it doesn't have to be on. It doesn't have to be a play. Like it don't have to. I'm gonna leave it. For me,
I take over 44, but I don't know Clemson, Appalachian State. I know what Clemson has. I didn't watch Appalachian State this past weekend. But I know they always show up for those games.
Always.
They always. I don't care what kind of season they're having. They're going to show up to play Power 5.
Honestly, word of advice for coaches: when you are scheduling, if you got college game day or anybody coming to town, the week you play App, I suggest you buckle up because that ain't going to be no easy game.
What about we'll come on kicking offside kicks?
Yeah, they love games. Like honestly, App don't even care if they lose 2 or 3 games in the season. But when they come to town to play them big teams, that'll be the games that they'll win or they'll take you to the wire.
To the wire. Fuck up.
Especially if you're not on.
Fuck your whole season.
Especially if you're not on like a team. Especially if you're not like on the level that like Georgia or somebody. Like if App was playing Georgia, I'd be like, no, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir. Georgia's getting belt to ass.
They're gonna control that line of scrimmage. And I don't care what kind of skill players you got. Quarterback need time. Running backs need holes.
Yep. So we got that. We got about 10 more minutes left to get through some more games. And again, these are not just official picks; they're just a pool that we're going to go over more deep in depth. So far, what they got: Ohio State minus 31.5 over Western Michigan.
I take Ohio State.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win by like 40. I ain't lying to you.
Yeah,
They struggled a little bit early. I think this line is not high enough because they struggled with Akron. Like the first 10 minutes of that game, it was kind of the quarterback was kind of shaky.
It was 7-3 going into the damn second quarter.
Yeah, and I can see this game where they get and Wisconsin struggled with them too, Western Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Ohio State beating the dog shit out of them.
Yeah.
So we'll leave. Ooh, this is a good one. Oregon minus 11 or Boise State plus 24. Me personally, I would never take Boise plus 25. 25. It's either I'm going to either not bet Oregon
I watched that game. I watched Boise State, Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
Boise
the
State
running back
went crazy. Boise State can score the football. They can score the football. They can score the football. Oregon, 24 points against Idaho. That's a low game for them. Gabriel's still trying to get his shit right. He's still trying to get together.
The over is 55, be 54.5.
The over be 54, but if you want to go out on a whim and pick an upset, I think you got a good chance here.
We'll take to win the game.
I think money line. But if you go watch, I watched both games. I watched it what Oregon did well, and I watched it what Boise State did well. And Oregon did that against a team. They should have been on what we should have been seeing 73 to the way Auburn whooped Alabama A&M. That's what we should have been seeing.
Well, I'll leave it alone. I like the over. I think if you said they could score points, I know Oregon go get me 35.
Oh yeah, I think they go over 60 points in this game for sure.
Oh, so that's easy. So
yeah, I think they go over 54 in this game. Yeah, but I don't think Oregon's just gonna go up there and just walk away with it.
It's in Oregon.
Yeah, Idaho, right down the street now. They better lead them down. All right. They better lead them Idaho teams alone.
All right. So for our picks, so chat, this is what our pool of picks that we got so far, and we may or may not have Jalen back on the show. I think we're either going to do Monday night or do Tuesday night to put our tickets in. We got so just listed them off for the starter, just to start. Okay, from what initial look, we got Duke Northwestern 45 under 45.5.
Yep.
As a potential play. Penn State minus 25.5 potential play.
Yep.
Memphis minus 10 as a potential play. Texas money line. We like that as like a lock. I know Josh, when he get on here, he's gonna tell you take the spread. So we definitely like that. Under 52.5 is a potential play. Then we go down to Utah minus 10. Jalen likes plus 24.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we'll go deep into that. Carolina minus 15.5. Notre Dame minus 24.5. Utah, Iowa under 43.5. Maryland, Michigan State under 51. Middle Tennessee, Ole Miss minus 34.5. And we got Alabama minus 23.5.
Yep.
And we've got Ohio State minus 31.5. Colorado plus 14. Nebraska money line. Boise State, Oregon over 55.5. Tennessee, I like that as a lock, -1 or money line and over 53. Those are our pool of picks. That is not officially what we'll put out. We're only going to do 16 teasers, but those will be rotated, and then we'll kind of condense those down. So we told y'all we had.
Only one on that I'm not absolutely sure on is the Boise State Oregon game. Is this? I don't know if.
Anytime you take an over in a Boise State and an Oregon game, I'm comfortable. I don't care. I don't really need to do research on that because I know Oregon's going to get me 40 of the points right there. So I'll live with that. 55, that ain't nothing. Even if the game is competitive, it's going to go over that. Like that's you used to be able to say that's a Pac-10 team, so you know they're gonna score, but it's a Big Ten team now. So, but they're gonna score points. So yeah, make sure everybody follows on the page. We're gonna go more into deep. We're gonna go more into in depth. Or maybe in another couple of days. Got to get ready for this LSU or USC game. I expect this shit to go over. I expect box everywhere. I expect for us not to lose our fifth straight season opener. Tired of this shit. I can't have both my teams losing. Charlotte already got their asses beat.
Hey, you can't start the season like that, man. You can't start it like that.
Yeah, so we tune in. Make sure y'all keep an eye out on this over. That was one of our picks. It was 57.5, so 58 points. That ain't nothing but what, 24, 32, something like that. I think they'll get that pretty easily. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll catch y'all either Monday night, Tuesday night, but for sure by Thursday night. We made a couple of dollars this week. We lost. I think I lost. We were negative last week. We were super positive this week. That's the goal. To be positive. I don't care if it's $1.
Virginia Tech could have had us up. They could have had us up this week, boy.
Hey, VTech. VTech. Never again. VTech. This is what you get, VTech. God damn it. Can't believe you went out there and lost to Vanderbilt for my bread. They had me hyped.
The Commodores.
and they had me hyped when they went up. When they went up by 7, I'm hyped. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, bro, these niggas is in overtime.
Well, you called me. I was walking my homeboy, dog. You called me and said, hey, we just scored. They just scored. We good. I got in the car, drove home, got their Vanderbilt on top. They going to got there. Well, they went to overtime.
They went 80 yards in a minute and 30 seconds. Don't even worry about it. This is what we call, when we get into the film session, what the fuck did the film say about you? Right here. Tackles. What the fuck did the film say about you?
Hey, that's what you hate to hear. It's like you be a starter, you in film, it's like, hey, coach, make sure so-and-so gets some reps today. Hey, and that's your backup. That's your backup. I want to see him working with the ones today.
Yeah, hey, that's the clear. Now your forehead sweating.
Bro, hey, now you hurt, bro. You like, man, I can't fuck up nothing.
Yeah. Make sure John gets some reps with the ones today, or make sure Lawrence gets some reps with the twos today. Yeah, get him some reps with the twos because this is bad.
We got to see how deep we can go.
Hey, the worst you can do is when they call out the ones and the coach is like, nah. You should.
Hey, you ready to take your shit off? You ready to take your shit off? We feel like, man, fuck y'all.
Well, hold on. You like what? You like what? What you mean? I'm go. We're gonna see what Johnny can do with the ones. Don't worry, you'll still. It's okay. We just want to get some reps in. That's all.
We got to get ready to play. We're trying to win a football game.
We're trying to win a football game. But again, everybody, make sure you keep eye out on those picks. We're gonna try to make some more money this week. So we're ending up the show, episode 3, a recap of results. We're starting week 2. Week 2 coming up.
Baby.
I'll holler at you, Jalen.
Holla.